There is a mobile game strategist named SuperScale, and it looks like every now and then they come out with some cool research or a report that kind of summarizes research they've done on games and usually specifically mobile games. Well, this report they just dropped is very interesting to me. It found that 83% of launched mobile games fail within 3 years, and 43% are canceled during development. And not to just bombard you with statistics here, but the report also found that 76% of launched games reach peak revenue within the first year, and only 4% reach this peak during the second year. Now, despite the very high failure rate, 83% of mobile games, despite the mobile games' high failure rate, 78% of developers prefer to work on mobile games rather than console or PC type games. And this could be for a lot of different reasons, mainly that mobile games are probably just more simple to work on compared to more complicated games that you'd be working on for PC and console. Now, unfortunately, over a third of respondents said that uncertainty in the industry is preventing them from developing new games, and 30% feel that the current market is too difficult to succeed in. I could see that especially for smaller indie startup companies. Game development, I always encourage anybody that wants to get involved in game development to just do it. But that being said, I know that it is definitely very intimidating, to say the least, to just jump into the gaming market. Now, going on with this report, another statistic I found very interesting is that less than half of developers push out monthly updates to their games. And even more statistics on post-launch content, only 5% of these mobile games receive support 7 years post-launch. Now, that one's not as surprising to me. I guess, 7 years is a long time, especially for a mobile game to succeed. I feel like most console titles and PC titles don't have support after 3-4 years, let alone 7. Overall, I thought this was just a really cool report. It kind of said a lot about mobile games, which some would say are definitely dominating the market right now and really have been for kind of the past 5 to 10 years. Mobile games are huge for casual gamers or really just people who don't have a console or a good PC and they just have an iPad or their phone. Like it or not, some of the world's most popular games are mobile games. It's just very shocking to hear some of these statistics, mainly the 83% statistic, that 83% of mobile games fail after 3 years. That one is very shocking to me. And what's really unfortunate about that statistic is that these 83% of mobile games that fail, that is usually probably the little guy, so to speak. Those are more of the indies, the startups, the smaller companies, or even just the one-person game developers. Huge games with big publishers like Pokemon Go, Subway Surfers, Among Us, Clash of Clans, Angry Birds, big mobile games like that. They've got a lot of support and they definitely are not failing in any regard. And that's not to say that I want them to fail, but it definitely goes to show that, like I said, game development can be very intimidating, especially for startups, for the indie companies, for the one-person game developers. If you don't have these big budget publishers, it looks like your game is doomed to fail, or at least statistically, you've got an 83% chance that it will fail. That to me is concerning, and I definitely hope that smaller game developers don't read this report and, be discouraged to make their game or, just give up. I don't want that to happen. I hope that doesn't happen. So let me just end by saying this, and this is something that I definitely believe in. I know I've kind of said some not so fun stuff about, game publishing and whatnot today, but game development itself, I think, is in the best place it's ever been in, especially in terms of people that are just wanting to get involved in game development. And the reason I say that is because there are so many tools right now that are just available to the public. They're widespread, that allow you to make games completely on your own, completely from home, and make it a whole lot easier than it was, say, 10, 15 years ago. So, though I really don't like this 83% statistic, if you have a game that you are trying to develop right now, just do it. Make it happen, because it is definitely still possible to succeed.